All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call our meeting back to order today for our July the 18th, 2023 special meeting today. Welcome everybody here today. Thank you all for coming, even though it's a little warm outside today.
Better inside.
And inside, that's right,
Better
Tommy.
inside than out.
Yeah,
That's right.
it's better inside than out. All right. Our first item on the agenda today is the school budget transfer discussion. Dr. Walgrove? Ms. Booth, would you like to come forward, please? Does the board members have any questions or anything for these lovely ladies today?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Supervisors.
Thank you.
Good evening.
So you don't have any comments or anything, Ms. Dr. Walgrove or Mrs. Booth, anything that you need, any additional information?
If you would like me to review the request for transfer of funds, I'm happy to do so. We sent that to Mr. Tadlock earlier this afternoon.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like me to review that?
Board members want a review of that?
Let's go through it one more time.
All right.
Okay.
If you don't mind, I'd appreciate it, ma'am.
Absolutely. This is regarding a transfer of funds. We're requesting that we transfer funds from instruction to administration and health in the amount of $44,988.30 to provide a 5% raise, to transfer from instruction to operations and maintenance in the amount of $31,065.71 to cover the 5% raise, to transfer from instruction to transportation in a total amount of $62,259.48 to provide a 5% raise toward driver benefits, and that's at an estimate of $23,750 with no raise and $26,188 with the raise. To transfer from instruction to technology in the amount of $15,932.49 to provide the 5% raise. And that's a total transfer request from instruction in the amount of $154,245.98. This request is to reallocate funds that were previously approved in the instruction category to provide all employees with a 5% raise. Currently, employees who fall under instruction have already been issued contracts at a 5% raise. That does include the 1.25% step. All other employees remained the same with their salaries because we were not able to issue the 5% raise. In addition, we also provided a second document regarding employee health insurance. The request is to add health insurance and benefits for drivers in the transportation category. The estimated amount is between $67,000 and $84,000, and the reason is to provide health insurance and benefits for 7 drivers, and this is with additional duties as I shared at our last couple of meetings. And also a second request to add health insurance increase in all categories for all employees who participate in the health insurance, the local choice. That's in the categories of instruction, administration and health, operations and maintenance, transportation, school nutrition, technology, and this is at a cost of $219,696, again to cover a 9.9% increase for all participating school division employees as all other county agencies received this. At this time, Mr. Chairman, that recaps our requests.
Thank you, ma'am. Board members have any questions?
The $219,000, that's part of your original budget that was already given.
Yes, sir.
It's nothing additional.
This was in our original budget proposal.
Why is the figure for the 7 school bus drivers not locked in? I mean, you got 7 employees, they're gonna get X plan, it should be a concrete figure.
It's a great question, and depending on which health plan they choose, we tried to give you both sides of that for the, in case they chose a high deductible single plan versus perhaps the 250, the Anthem 250 family plan. There's a big cost difference. So, Ms. Booth, did I answer that accurately?
I think so. Just like the county does, the county supports a different dollar amount for each plan. And so it just depends on which specific plan each employee chooses.
We don't have a variable like this. We have when you submit to us, Mr. Tadlock, a specific figure for the insurance.
So what we use the current data that we have based off what the employee is currently on.
Right.
And that's our best guesstimate at that particular time. So when we have going into the coming up a fiscal year, we just use those same categories for that employee. And then it's just a best guess. That doesn't mean that that employee wouldn't change or couldn't change, but at the time we don't know because open enrollment is not until later. So.
Yeah, when is the school's open enrollment? June, July?
This would be a changing event for the 7 new drivers, so they would be able to add.
Add 'em.
And because they're new, that's why we don't know a previous history of a plan they participated in.
All right, any other additional questions?
The only question I got is when the motion was made to pass the school budget and the 5% additional funds was granted to the school, how was the motion worded? Was it worded for pay increases or was it just a 5% increase?
5% in instruction.
Okay, so
What's that, Tom?
5% in instruction.
what do we need to do different? What does the board need to do different to make?
Because it's categorical to shift from instruction, we would have to approve the request. This is just for the transfer of funds now.
Right.
Right.
We'd have to file the transfer request as they want. It would be no additional monies, it would just be moving it from this pot to these
Right.
pots. Mr. Chairman, I move that we transfer from instruction to administration and health, $44,988.30. Transfer from instruction to O&M, $31,065.71. Transfer to from instruction to transportation, total of $62,259.48. Transfer from instruction to technology, $15,932.49. For a total transfer request from instruction for $154,245.98.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. I have any other discussion? All right, no other discussion?
Once again, these were funds that were already
Right.
voted on and approved.
Yeah.
It's in the budget that needs to go in the category.
Yeah, they were already put into the instructional category. All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion. I'm going to do two motions, but I'm going to do two, not one. Add health insurance and benefits for drivers and transportation. I'll use the $84,000.
All right. Motion is add health insurance benefits for $84,000 for
Right,
the
just for-
bus drivers.
Just for the bus drivers.
All right.
Second.
All right, we got a motion and a second. We got any discussion?
Is that still coming out of the,
No, this will be new money. The problem is, these 7 employees are going to be considered full-time employees, and they are thus, by the Affordable Care Act, AKA Obamacare, entitled to have health insurance. If you have more than 29 hours a week, we are required. That's why the county, when we have part-time employees, we restrict them to 29 hours or less to avoid having to do the insurance. And they understand that coming in.
All right. Says 84 additional thousand.
Right.
Now, I'm just talking now. I'm just looking at what the additional part is for health insurance. That'd be a total of what, $306,906,000 additional money?
I'm just doing one group at a time.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just kind of trying to get numbers straight here. I know we got just the one group. Doctor, where's this money gonna come from? Are we gonna be able to do that by cutting our reserve fund below 20%?
Well, it would come out of the general fund. What we would need to do at a later date, that was 303,000. Yeah, 303,696. So one thing we have to be careful about is the 1% on the total expenditure side of the budget. So that's going to be about $412,000.
Both of these would not be over that threshold.
Both of those wouldn't be over that threshold, but collectively throughout the year, we're going to have the ARPA funds, ESSER funds, any remaining ESSER funds, this amount. So we will need to do a budget amendment.
Or we're going to have to do a budget amendment for the revenues that are coming back from the reimbursements too? Or do you not have to do a budget amendment when you get money as opposed to spending money?
It's mostly on the expenditure side. We can double check with the auditor on the revenue side. Mostly when we've done that has been on the expenditure side. So,
I just think if you did an amendment on expenditure, you'd do the same thing on the other, but that makes sense. But remember, we're getting a lot of reimbursements that frankly should have been done last year, but anyway.
yeah,
So
we will follow up with the auditor on that.
Just wish this had been, I wish this had been considered when we did the original amount of money.
Shouldn't have the 9% for the, it probably was in there.
It was there to be looked at then, and it got skipped over. All right, board members, excuse me, board members have any other discussion?
Well, we're putting ourselves in a situation that if we give additional money to one agency, one group, who else is going to come back and ask for additional funds? We're going to be right back to where we said we're not going to be. That's going to be a tax increase for next year based on this year's budget. Not against anyone having health insurance, but I kind of wish this had come before the board, and we could have had discussions on it, planned on it, prior to it being promised to the bus drivers. And most definitely, I think everybody ought to have health insurance. But you know, the board has already voted on and approved the budget. We're going to go back and make changes?
Yeah, I think we should. If we lose the bus drivers, they're jumping to other counties, and it's pretty hard to get bus drivers nowadays. It's not like-
And I understand that, but
Right.
we're going against what we've already promised the citizens, that we weren't going to have any tax increases this year. Well, we're not. We passed it on to next year. And a few weeks ago, we had probably an estimated of 400 people here in this building. They voiced their opinion. And, you know, they're not for funding a whole lot of money, more money to the school system. We do have a good school system. We got good teachers. But there's got to be a balance somewhere. And, you know, it's the will of the people. It's the will of what are they willing to invest. And I think with this courtroom being packed and the second courtroom having a lot of people in it, I think they're getting to their breaking point of where they're done. That's all I got to say about that.
But I don't think they would say, school board employees, you're not entitled to the same benefits as county employees.
Right.
I don't think there's a distinction of making them second-class employees.
We're not making them second-class employees.
Yes, you are, too.
No.
Yes, you are.
I
You
could,
do that.
this board, at least is one, we've tried to make things equal between.
Right.
Now, the school board, I will say, gave a 2% raise when none of the employees got it. I didn't like that, I can tell you that, because we tried to keep all employees fairly, whatever the General Assembly, sometimes the General Assembly says X, we can't go beyond that. But all other employees, including, everyone who's here, who's a full-time employee for the county, got the 9% raise. Are we gonna say, it's good for you, bad for the teachers? I don't believe in that. I try to teach people, reach people as possibly the same as we can.
Right.
And as far as compensation, it's not always the monies you receive, it's the benefits. I can tell you, working for the state, if it wasn't for the health insurance, it wouldn't be worth doing. But we're gonna say to the teachers, you've gotta now pick up the 9.9%. To me, it just, yes, it's gonna be additional monies, but by the auditor, we're supposed to get $4.7 million in reimbursements from the audit. And they're getting reimbursements now. So we're gonna have a small windfall.
For this year,
Yeah.
what'll be next year?
That's any time when you do a raise, you've established the floor. Be it health insurance or a raise, you've established the floor. You're always going up from there unless you're gonna actually cut wages. 5% raise for everybody, that's now the floor. Next year, it's gonna be here.
Mr. Chairman, point of order, I thought you were talking about the bus drivers.
No,
I mean, the motion I heard was for the bus driver.
He's not remembering.
Hold on just a minute. We're not taking any public comment right now. I know you want to comment, but, and you're all right, we're supposed to be talking about the raise for the bus drivers there.
Oh, but the
Some
insurance.
insurance for the bus drivers.
Mr. Brand started down the road, and I just followed.
Yeah, well, we did get off a little track. Did get off track.
I'll call for the question on the bus driver motion.
All right, question's been called. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against?
Aye.
Aye. There's a tie vote. I just wish we had done this in our original motion, because we told the public we were not going to increase that tax rate, that this was going to be their dollar amount that they were going to expect. That's the bad thing about it. And I'm not sure how to resolve this. And I'm open for discussion amongst the board members. I'm not saying I don't want to do it, but I want to be fair about everything. But I got to be fair to the taxpayer also.
You're not being fair, because
Well, explain yourself.
you're not, I mean, if you're doing it for the county, and you should do it for all. I mean, if you're gonna be fair, and that's what I'm going on. I believe in being fair, you know?
Well, then, by that case, if Mr. Tadlock brings up any additional item that's not in the budget, by that, you're gonna have to vote against that too.
Well, that's correct. And if we vote for this, there will be additional items in the budget. I've already heard that. So I don't know. Anyway, and the additional items will put us over our 1% threshold.
No, no, this amount won't.
No, this
Anything-
won't.
anything else,
But the
but
additional
by-
items will.
But by the token you've taken, you can't vote to do that. So we'll never have to amend the budget. We won't be doing it. Unless it's good, if it's good for the county, it's gonna have to be good for the school system in terms of benefits like this.
All right, I'm gonna look at both west here. So bus drivers, that's their health insurance benefits. The 9.9% increase is what, that is an increase for all of our employees in the school system. Is that correct, Dr. Wargo?
Exclusive of bus drivers, since they've already been getting it.
Excludes the bus drivers, yes, excludes them. So that's all other employees. County employees received a 9.9%, didn't they? Luttrell?
Yes, sir. The board did.
Constitutional officer, social service, everybody
Yeah,
else.
everybody got 9.9.
That was on the health insurance.
So, got any money buried around the school lot?
We're busy reimbursing to the local coffers right now.
So if you look at both of them, it's $303,696. That is, what, 1 1/4 cent, Luttrell?
Yeah, a penny on the levy is about 284,000.
Okay. So we're less than, all right. And Tommy, I do see your point that health insurance, I know health insurance is valuable. Well, if we don't do one, we have slighted the other. I am looking at that. And I don't like that. I wish it could have been done in an original motion, put the money in there and been done with it. Would have been a whole lot better off. Anybody else got any comments? I know what we're gonna hear as a board if we don't approve it. We're gonna be getting emails and phone calls that I have to pay my 9.9% increase on insurance and a county employee does not. And I'm not sure I wanna hear all that. All right, my motion is to approve $303,696,000. And I'm not saying that I'm 100% satisfied with it, but that is a mistake that I think we need to correct to be fair to all employees in the county as far as health insurance benefits.
I'll second the motion.
All right? Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? And I do mean, I think we need to be fair, but I am not satisfied one bit that this was not put into the original motion. And that is my big problem right there. And I know I'm gonna have to answer to everybody for putting additional money out. But I'm just looking at what our county employees got, and our school employees, which are still county employees, and they did not receive the same benefit. So it's unfair on that part. So that's my motion. And I got a second by Tommy. Any other discussion? If not, all of them.
Mr. Chairman, as far as that particular motion, that health insurance, that 219,696 is a lump sum. If we could add to that motion that is to be distributed amongst the categories appropriately, and I don't know if you have that breakout, if you had a chance to, I don't know if you want to make that motion to work with the county administrator to put those monies up to the 303,696 in the appropriate categories.
All right. Would it help you if I withdrew my motion and changed the motion?
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
easier.
right.
All right, I'm going to withdraw my motion. You're going to withdraw your second, Tommy?
Absolutely.
All right. My motion is to approve $84,000 for the 7 bus drivers for health insurance. Tommy?
Second.
Motion second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, next motion is motion to approve
Did you vote against it?
219,696.
Mr. Brand voted against it. Just,
All right,
I thought you would. I just wanted,
I'm sorry, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
I didn't want you to be lumped into it.
No, it's fine.
I'm sorry. All right, next motion is 219,696. for the health insurance increase, and that is to be distributed amongst the various categories, so it covers all health insurance costs.
That's your motion?
That's the motion.
Second.
Is that okay with you, Luttrell?
Yes, sir, and what I'll do, I'll get with the school division, with Ms. Booth and Dr. Wargo, and we can get those numbers to the board, so you know where those numbers are going. But I think doing it that way, we've at least got it going to the categories. So.
All right. Motion second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against?
Aye.
All right. Ladies, I don't like it. I'm not satisfied, and this better not be happening again. We need to get this stuff in order a little bit better than this next time. All right. What else do you have, Mr. Tadlock? Thank y'all, ladies.
Thank you.
The only other item I think the school division had was that they were asking for a joint meeting.
Ladies, would y'all like to come back up? You don't have to if you don't want to. You interested in having a joint meeting, Dr. Wargo?
Yes, sir.
You got any dates that you're looking at?
I spoke with the board, and they were hoping you could identify a couple of dates, and then dates and times, and then I can survey them based
Yes,
on
ma'am.
your availability.
All right, you have any dates, or you want the board to try to pick some?
If you'd like to pick the dates, that would be great.
All right, gentlemen, what would you like to do? Today's the 18th,
Yeah, we do sometime. First of,
next month?
yeah, 1st of August, that week.
Where was that?
First, second, third, fourth? First, second, third,
Can't be
or?
the first.
What
That's
day?
National Night Out.
That's right.
What
I think we all be tied up doing something.
Yeah. Happy the
date
3rd.
you recommend, Tom?
Not the first, because that's National Night Out. and
Okay,
Fire
National
Department's
Night Out,
Rescue
okay.
Squad,
Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. So we
Let's
could
go.
do Tuesday or Thursday of that week, that'll be the 2nd or the 3rd. Following week, we could do the 8th,
Not the 8th.
not the 8th. You have something on the 8th?
Do it
Yeah,
Tuesday.
squad meeting.
All right,
Don't
squad
do it
meeting,
Tuesday.
all right.
Don't do it Tuesday. Which one is that on, Tom?
Can't do it on the, can't do it the 7th, 8th. I could do it the 9th. We got the board meeting on the 10th.
Yeah, we got
What
one
was the
meeting on the
ninth?
10th.
Okay, Wednesday.
So
What, Jim?
we could do it the 9th.
That's on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we got the 2nd and the 3rd and the 9th. Any other dates?
I can do the 2nd or the 3rd or the 9th, so,
Or the 9th,
yeah. I'd rather do it the first part of the month. But
2nd or the 3rd?
But it's up to everybody else, whatever your schedule
Either
is.
one of them on Monday?
No.
No. It's a
The
Tuesday.
Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
2nd's a Wednesday.
Or don't have a Thursday?
Thursday bad for you.
No, Thursday's good.
Thursday good. All right.
What day is that?
That's the 3rd.
Yeah, Thursday's good. August the 3rd.
Any comments, Dr. Wargo?
August the 3rd.
I am hearing August 2nd or 3rd, as well as
August
August
the 3rd.
9th is possibly available.
Yeah, August 9th,
And what time would you like to meet?
5:30.
5:30?
Very good. And Mr. Chairman, I can run these dates by our board and then follow up with Mr. Tadlock?
Yes, ma'am, that would be, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
You
ma'am.
said August the 3rd, right?
She's gonna get back with us.
We're looking at the 2nd and 3rd and the 9th.
All right.
So whatever dates would suit
Hopefully it's the 3rd.
suit them a little bit better.
Good.
All right, Lutton, we'll let you take over.
All right, just had several items from the meeting last week that we needed to cover. Just to let the board know that we had 7 new structures for the month of June. Total construction costs for the month, $3.8 million. Total construction costs year-to-date, 29.6, which puts us below this time last year, about $350,000. We do have.
Do you have those broke down in the districts, various districts?
Typically, I don't have that detailed information. Typically, what happens is that the planning director, Stuart McKenzie, will have an end-of-the-year report that breaks that information out on an annual basis.
Okay.
Next item I have is a reappointment of Harry Town Wetlands Board, District 5. He would like to serve through December. If the board wishes to do so, we could appoint him for those number of months, and then as he resigns, we would look to appoint somebody new.
Would it make sense to do it through December, or just appoint him for a regular term, and then he can resign when he wants?
That's what I would recommend, is just go ahead and appoint him, and then he can do a letter of resignation, and then we can do an all-other appointment at that point in time.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move that we reappoint Harry Town for a full term, and then he can make his own choice when and if he wants to resign.
Second.
All right, got a motion second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. I have an appointment to the Planning Commission. The fellow's name is John Kosh. I'd like to get him on the board if possible. That's my motion.
Second.
All right, got a motion second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Kosh, we'll let Luttrell get in touch with you. Thank you, sir.
All right, just to make the board aware too, that we still have vacancies on the Economic Development Commission in Districts 1, 2, and 5. So we still need appointments. And actually with them only having 2 members, they can't have a full meeting. Next item I have is a motion to approve a supplemental appropriation to account 3102-5503 in the amount of $145.23 for conference reimbursement for the sheriff's office.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Expensive conference.
Next is a motion to approve a supplemental appropriation to line item 1302-5203 in the amount of $1,100 to cover the increased cost in Breeze Line. And that's for the voter registrar's office.
Move to approve.
Got a motion and a second. Now that cost is the yearly cost or monthly cost?
The $1,100 is the annual cost.
Annual cost,
It's
okay.
monthly is $85.84.
Okay. Any other discussion?
What did it increase from to that? Any idea?
I believe it was about $168, and it increased to the 85, or increased by $85.84. So,
What kind of line do they got? Must have an awful lot of, are they in trilobites now?
I
I don't know, Tom. I don't have an answer.
It's a business rate?
Yeah, I think the speed is, actually, I think it's the lowest plan.
It's the lowest plan, all right. Breeze line. That's a, so if you're a businessman, you get charged more even if you got the lowest speed, or a lower speed.
Sure, a lot more.
Wonder why small business has a hard time making it.
That Breeze Line wants no new customers.
I think there's a company that's gonna take care of them in time.
I think a lot of people are going to switch from Breeze Line. Yeah, I do. All right, we got a motion. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
All right, next item I have is the board was asking for some additional information related to the cigarette tax board. I did reach out to Mr. Davis with the Northern Neck Planning District Commission regarding the Chesapeake Bay Region Tax Board, and the ability to join that tax board is still available to the county. There are 2 ordinances that we would need to advertise and have a public hearing on before we could join that that tax board. The first would be setting the tax rate and establishing the effective date, and the second is authorizing joining the regional tax board. There are currently 11 localities, towns of the Chesapeake Bay Regional Tax Board, and I did ask, given that number, was the Northern Neck Planning District Commission able to bring us on with the additional work, and they had indicated that that would not be a problem. The one thing that they did ask is that at the point that we do advertise our public hearing, it takes about 2 months in order to get up to speed with getting with the wholesale distributors and the different organizations that they need to get with. So even if, I don't know that we would be able to hold the public hearing in August, because I still need to run some of this information by the county attorney to review the ordinances and everything. So it would probably be September before we could have the public hearing on this matter. I don't know if you have any specific questions. There are approximately 13 stores in the county that do sell cigarettes.
Tax rate would be what, 40 cents?
40 cents per pack.
40 cents per pack.
And that's set by code. The max is set by code.
Yeah.
There's one organization, part of the Chesapeake Bay Region Tax Board, that's only charging 10 cents. They're actually on the eastern shore, but they're looking to change that, I think, to 20 cents is what Mr. Davis had indicated. But they have a lot of traffic, so they're getting more money out of that than other localities.
Any idea how many packs are sold in a month?
I don't have that information. We would guess, and this is just a guesstimate, we would probably be looking at about $150,000 to $200,000 annually. And that's just based off of discussions with Mr. Davis and what some of the other localities are doing that are of the same size.
And talking to Mr. Davis, a lot of counties was surprised that they received more than they expected, from the cigarette tax. So, it could be a small relief to our real estate. So hopefully, we can get it through.
You need a motion to move forward?
Need a motion?
Yeah, if I could get a motion to advertise it, again, it may not be till September because the deadline for the August meeting would be this Friday, and Mr. Gregory is on vacation this week, so
Well, why don't you,
I would not be able to confer with him as far as finalizing the ordinances.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we advertise to join the Regional Cigarette Tax Board and the tax ordinance as soon as the county attorney can review and approve the advertising.
all right, I got a motion, got a second.
Right.
All right, got a motion, second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
All right, the next item is the short-term rental registration. The board had requested a draft ordinance and a draft transient occupancy tax ordinance. Both of those items are in the board docs as drafts. There again, we would need or want to check these ordinances against what we also have in our zoning ordinance so that the terms are correct. So we would want to run that by the county attorney as well, as far as short-term rental versus vacation home rental. We just want to make sure that we have everything straight there.
Well, if it's not straight, then you'd have to amend the zoning ordinance,
Correct.
which would delay that thing's another 2 months. Only way you'd speed it up is have a joint meeting. There's no reason to have a joint meeting between those two boards for this, but
There again, we would just want to check with the attorney to make sure all the language was straight.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we move forward with these ordinances with a review by the county attorney for these draft ordinances and tax ordinance and our zoning ordinance to make sure they're in compliance.
All right,
Second.
got a motion second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 May not be till
Now,
Christmas.
It'll be a
the,
while.
for the registry of the short-term rental of property, the county can charge a fee based on the work that has to go into that particular. We put $50 in here. I don't know if the board wants to consider something else, but we can start with $50 and see where the board
Well,
would
why
want
don't
to
you
go.
survey other counties that have this register, see what they're charging.
Okay.
That it might be reasonable, it might be too low, or too high.
Next item I have is regarding the Rural Solar Development Coalition. We had Ms. Seward come out earlier to discuss this with the board. And the annual fee to join the Rural Solar Coalition is $5,000 annually. We did find out today we can do it one of two ways. We can either prorate it for the rest of the calendar year at $2,500, or we can, if we pay July, the new fiscal year would be $5,000. It's $5,000 annually. If the board is wanting to join that, we did put that money in the budget, so it is there. The board just wanted to have further discussion after the budget as to whether to join that. I would recommend at this point to run the membership with the fiscal year so that we have that every budget cycle rather than $2,500 now and then $5,000 January 1st, it'd be $7,500.
All right, got a motion to approve it that way?
I move that we join the coalition on a fiscal year basis.
Fiscal year basis, that'd be, all right. You seconded, Jimmy?
Yes.
Oh, Jim seconded, all right. Any other discussion? I think it'll be to our advantage to join the coalition because there's a lot of information that we can benefit from.
And it changes frequently, as we found that
Changes
along this
frequently,
process.
yep, and we will be up to date on all the information coming in. All right, no other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next item I have, I believe I skipped one item, is the board had discussed having monthly updates by county departments, agencies. No previous action had been taken regarding that item, and we identified several of the departments and agencies that we would reach out to obtain a monthly report. I don't know if the board wishes to add or remove from that list, but I don't know if it's something that the board just wants written information, or if you want the departments to actually come and report to the board, or how you want that set up. But I did, in board docs, you have a draft template for each of the departments to complete.
All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
I'd like to see them come before the board. And,
I would, all right,
I'd rather have it by written, because if every one of these shows up, the afternoon session will have to start sooner.
we got another hour and a half.
Well, let's do a little bit of a compromise
Yeah.
on that then.
yeah,
if they have a request of,
Oh, funds or program, yeah.
or something special to share, if someone got a certification, what have you, I'd like to see them before the board.
Right.
My thing of it is, the public needs to see what the county is doing. And the only way to do that is to get the staff involved.
I agree.
And coming to some of the meetings to share some of the things that they got going on. And, you know, put it in writing. You know, if they got a request and you need to come before us, have a discussion, or, you know, pay someone praise for doing something well, I'd love to see them before the board.
I agree.
All right. Thought we'd like to add some more to it, economic development and jail board. And planning, you are talking about planning commission, aren't you?
Right.
That is the planning department, but we
Planning
can add
department,
planning
okay.
commission.
They can report what the plan.
They can make the same report, yeah. All right,
Hold on here, let's see.
are those additions okay with the board?
Got planning and have a building and zoning. Unless
We got
That-
planning, you got zoning, you just don't have, well, we get the building.
You got building up at the top,
Okay.
and I guess I'm assuming that is,
I already get the monthly report.
Yeah.
yeah, we already get that. Zoning. That would be Philip?
That's, Philip, you do get some of the zoning information in that building permit document that you receive.
Planning would be Stewart.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we got it covered, I overlooked it. My glasses weren't working.
Yeah. He was
All right.
looking upside down.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
All right, got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 All right, the last item I have is that we received a letter from the Department of Accounts that all our requirements of the CARES Act funding distributed by the Department of Accounts have been met, and that all obligations and expenditures of the funds have been reported accurately. So it was basically an audit on our CARES Act funding.
And all reimbursements have been done.
They have, yeah. And I'd like to thank Mary Dotson, Ellen Kirby, and Gail Dungan for all their work on that, so.
Well, I want to thank staff for getting the reimbursements done in a timely manner. It's a shame we couldn't have it same for the school system.
Yep. Thank all the employees for their service that they've done. We really do appreciate them. Do we have anything else?
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Gentlemen, we have, next item on here is to convene into a closed meeting. Tadlock, you have any appropriate wording for us?
Sure. I need the board to move that the Northumberland County Board of Supervisors convene into closed meeting pursuant to Virginia Freedom of Information Act, Section 2.23711A1, for the discussion and consideration of personnel matters. And 2, Sections 2.23711A29, discussion of the award of a public contract involving the expenditure of public funds, including interviews of bidders, offers, and discussion of the terms or scope of such contract, where discussion in an open session would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body. Invited to attend the closed meeting as necessary, or the county administrator, as they are deemed necessary, and their presence will reasonably aid the board in its consideration of the topics to be discussed pursuant to Virginia FOIA Section 2.23712F.
Tommy?
So move what Mr. Tadlock made the suggested motion.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Ladies, gentlemen, we will convene into closed meeting here. Thank you all for coming right now. You're welcome to come back after we come back in the open meeting.
All right, I need a motion by the board that the Northumberland Board of Supervisors return to public meeting and certify by roll call vote that only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by the Virginia Freedom of Information Act and as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered during the closed meeting.
I move what Mr. Tadlock read.
Second?
A motion second. All right, any other discussion? All right, roll call vote. Jim?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Tommy?
Aye.
Richard? Aye.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we award the contract for the EVB route partial repair to ELYON Construction LLC in the amount of $149,400.
Second.
I got a motion second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Will they be doing any type of presentation to the board on what they're gonna do?
What we could do is get Dave Lible with HDH Associates to explain what they would be doing. He's going to be the contract manager
So
on.
we get a breakdown on scope of work?
Yeah,
Okay.
we could see what we can get straight.
All right, we got anything else?
Before we possibly close this meeting, Mr. Tadlock, could you check with Robinson, Cox, and Farmer and ask them an estimate of what a forensic audit for the school board's budget last year would cost? They couldn't do it, but just get an idea of what they think a forensic audit would cost.
Okay.
A lot of money.
Question,
Huh?
forensic audit or forensic examination? Because there's a difference. The examination goes a little deeper.
No, an audit goes deep. When you say forensic,
Okay.
it's my understanding of forensic audit is they look at every transaction, every receipt, every expenditure, and match it up to where it should have gone and things like that.
I got you.
That's my understanding of forensic audit. In other words, like this one, I think normally they just pull a month or two, and you see how much a month or two for all the counties cost. You do that for the whole school system for 1 year. Yeah.
I got you.
That's, or as they understand, if there's a distinction between a forensic evaluation, let me know. That's what everybody's talking audit.
Do they do that? What, in all-
Well, they could, but they can't do ours.
It would have to be an outside group.
You'd want it outside. Nothing against Robinson, Cox, and Farmer. That's just ethically, they should not, since they did our audit, they said it was good with the notes, but they don't do, they just pull a few, maybe a month or two.
I think that needs to take place. I really think we need to get this issue with the public and the school system resolved. And,
It might be cost prohibitive to do, but at least you have an idea what it would cost.
right, and, you know, we need to get this resolved.
Yeah, we got to do it. We drug our feet too long.
When you find out what it costs.
Well, can't help what it's gonna cost. We're gonna have to do it.
No, you don't have to.
Well,
But you
yes,
can
we
find out.
We need to do it. We need to do it. We gotta find out if there is anything wrong. If it is, we correct it. If it isn't, public should be satisfied, I hope.
So, about the dates, with the school board, you'll let us know. All right, we got several dates that we threw out there. And all of them in August, right?
Right now, yeah.
All right. That it?
Is that a motion?
What?
They get Robinson, Farmer, Cox, get an estimate?
You need a motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, put it in
So
motion.
move then.
Second that.
All right, motion second, any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
I don't, certainly think they ought to be able to give us some idea what.
Oh, they
cost
give us
will
an
be.
idea.
Certainly think they would. If not, there are other companies out here that will.
Well, they know the scope of work because they did
Yeah.
they know the size of everything.
All right, do we need to stay open? Or can we close?
I think we can close if there's anything that comes up regarding the regional radio system, regarding the contract, we can call another meeting.
I move we close.
Second.
Motion second. I'm not going to ask for any other discussion.
But you want to sit here.
All those in favor say aye.
Boy, I tell you, up at the PD